Hi, so today I'm here with the famous Jimmy the Brick Flick, all the way over in the USA. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Thanks for asking. First of all, thank you for your time and coming on our podcast to have a chat. I want to dive in deep with you and your training and everything you do, so your fans can find out exactly what you're about. So first of all, I just want to say, obviously, I'm over in the UK and you're in the USA, so the little chats we've had and watching your Facebook and your Instagram and stuff, I can see that, or you certainly come across as a really enthusiastic, very passionate, quite a family man. And man, do you put the grind in. Would you say it's a fair assessment of you?
Yes, sir. I got two beautiful daughters, a beautiful wife. We've been together for over 9 years, almost married over 8 years.
Wow,
So
congratulations.
thank you, man. Yeah, so it's awesome. So I got that family grind and then just chasing my dream.
Fantastic. How old are your daughters?
I got an 8-year-old and one that just turned 3 on the 2nd of June.
Nice. Boys, girls?
Not yet. Right now, they're both just like to run around at home and be crazy. We live out in the country, out in the boonies, and there's some country girls, so they love their animals, and we'll probably end up having a little farm here eventually.
Oh, fantastic. That sounds really cool, really awesome. I say everything you do, you're like, I feel like you're 110%, whether it be your sponsors, your training, your family. I always feel like when I see your stuff, you are up there with it. Is that easy to keep? Does it come natural to you?
Well, I think it comes from losing. As you can see on my record, I got 5 losses, and you never like losing. And every time I lose, obviously I didn't do enough is what I feel like. No matter what happens when you go in there, you never know what you're going to feel like or what's going to happen. But you always want to do more, and that's what I try to do at every fight is just try to do more, try to be more ready, try to just, take advantage of the situation. And I like to train as hard as I can and fight for the less amount of time. So if you watch a lot of my fights, I like to finish, and I like to finish quick.
Yeah, don't leave it to the judges.
No, sir. I've already had 3 fights go to the judges, and one didn't go in my favor. And out of 18, 19 pro fights, I said 3 went to the judges. We're not going back to the judges anytime soon.
Hell no, hell no. So you've had 19 pro fights.
13 and 5. Yeah, so 18.
13 and 5, beautiful. Really, that's still a good, strong record, mate. Still good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And
Yeah.
if the UFC could figure out what they're going to do with this flyweight division in the past 3 years, I wouldn't have went up and down. If people would just look at me like I'm taking big fights at 35, and then I go back to 25 when I get it. And 125, the flyweight division outside of the UFC, it's hard to make money. It's hard to book fights and make stuff happen. So it's been a back and forth battle for me. So I'm trying to stay at flyweight where I belong. I've won my last 3 fights at flyweight, and I've finished every flyweight I fought. I finished C.J. Hamilton. C.J. Hamilton went to a decision with Casey Kinney on the Tuesday Night Contender Series. There's some other guys that I finished. Bazzi, I just finished him, and he's fought Eric Shelton. Went to a decision with Eric Shelton. These guys are going to decisions with UFC vets, and I'm finishing them. I'm a finisher, and that's what people like to see. Whether it's jiu-jitsu that I'm finishing them with or these hands, I'm just getting the finish.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's what we like. I tell my fight team, never leave it to the judges because you never know.
Never. I went to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and it's on UFC Fight Pass for King of the Cage. Fought the hometown boy in the main event. And he beat me up a little bit. I mean, you can see the fight, but every round I took him down. I took his back. I dominated, and I lost unanimous decision in his hometown. And it's a fight on back until we get that rematch. And that's a fight I'll look down the road if he keeps winning. His name's Tim Sosa. So he's out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. So we'll see how he does, see how I do. And we did that fight at a catchweight 130 as well because I traveled to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I would like to get that fight back at 125.
Nice. Yeah, and you'll be strong there as well.
Yes, sir. I'm a very big, strong 125er, but I'm not a very big 135er.
Yeah, so you are, if I've read right, are you ranked number 5 in the top 25?
Yes, outside of the UFC, but now in my eyes, I'd be number 4 because Brandon just bumped up in the UFC and took out Tim Elliott.
Okay, so that's a good shout. Ranked number 4
Yeah.
in you. Fair play. Well done.
Yes, and Brandon was supposed to fight on that Tuesday Night Contender Series. He was signed before signing to fight Tim Elliott. So I'm hoping I can get that spot. So that's what I'm rallying for. I'm always tweeting. I'm letting them know I'm ready. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Is that your next goal, next vision?
Yes, I'm going to have a title defense lined up. No opponents yet. Here in a little bit, we'll get to that, see if any of these opponents I want to fight want to try to get this title.
Yeah, cool. So I'm guessing with all the work that you do and the amount you train, your sponsors are obviously quite important to you. Should we give your sponsors a big shout out while we're here?
Yes, please. Yeah, I'm a full-time working man. I got 2 kids. I got a wife. My wife's going to school, working on her career. So if I didn't have sponsors to help me out, it'd be a lot harder for me to, live the life I live, have the training I have. And Forza Combat is one of my Muay Thai gyms that I started working with. If you see my kickboxing fight, that was the first time him started working together. And it's really took my game to the next level because everybody thinks I'm a jiu-jitsu guy since I have 11 submissions. So my kickboxing highlights got over, 21,000 views?
Yeah, I shared it this week. Yeah.
And everybody thinks I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. So I really want to give a shout out to Forza Combat, Coach Leo over there. And Thunder Kick Fitness is where I've been for, I think, 8 years now. And Thomas Longacre over there, he's been helping me with my jiu-jitsu, making sure I'm staying strong. And we work our kickboxing over there as well. And them 2 gyms right here have helped me just get to the next level. And I also do CrossFit at CrossFit Sand Springs. I wake up Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to go train before work. And we do that 3 times a week, 8 to 12 weeks before training camps. And if you check at my last fight at Flyweight, everybody thought fight night I was 155, 160 pounds. I was so stocky and built and just was an amazing training camp. So I just really want to say shout out to all of my gyms. And then I'm going to just go through these sponsors real quick because I have a lot of them. I really thank all my sponsors for the support. Here in Oklahoma, medical marijuana is legal, and Harvest Health and the Plug 91A are big dispensaries here in my hometown, and they're big supporters, and I really appreciate them. I have Midwest Extract, HKA USA with Nick over there, man. Y'all, everybody sees him, man. He's everywhere. He's getting
he's doing a great job
now. Yeah, man. So HKA is going to blow up. We got
100%.
Truck Lining. We got the office on Main. When I fight here locally, that's where I go to the bar here locally where I grew up, and we do our after party. Big supporters of the Brick. I'm an official ambassador for Fighting for Autism.
Fantastic.
I've been repping Fighting for Autism because of my buddy Jeremy White. He has a boy that's has autism, and he just started paying me out of his pocket, and he wanted me to support Fighting for Autism. And it's just a great thing, and I really love it. I got Primary Colors Retro Relics. I got Broadway Barbershop, another hometown barbershop just supporting me. Core Hog, Code Zero Customs, Evolved Health. It's my doctor. He's also a fighter. His name's Brandon Bailey, Dr. Brandon Bailey. He's a veteran. He goes overseas, does all kinds of stuff, and the guy still fights, man. He's a great dude. Keep a lookout for him. I got Tulsa Sport Acupuncture. I do a lot of acupuncture. Like, I'm not a guy that's big on supplements, taking all this stuff, and I really love acupuncture. And when you see me fight, you'll see all the stuff on me, the little balls, you know. It's just great, man. I just want to say thanks to all my sponsors for supporting me, and we got big things in the work for 2020.
Hell yeah. Can you do me a favor? Can you send me a list of your sponsors so I can put it on the blurb later? So
I'll send you. Got every sponsor on it. That's what kind of made me easy to give them a shout out. You know, I just got these posters made. Harvest Health, my sponsor, bought me 60 of them. They're nice, thick posters. You know, they're really good, and so now it makes me easier to give them shout out. And I'm doing giveaways. If anybody wants to go find my fan page, it's Jimmy the Brick Flick.
Yeah.
You can also type in www.thebrickmma.com. And I bought the rights to that webpage. And
Nice.
I'll give a shout out to Spider Gray. He's the one that helped me do that. And he's a big supporter, helping me out with my social media where I can get it to the next level.
Fantastic.
So,
well, if you send all of that over, I'll put it in the blurb and the text, and we'll do as much as we can to help you grow as well.
Yes, and if you see my fan page, I'm doing giveaways, and I will ship. It'll take a little longer to get to y'all, but I will ship to y'all. I got a buddy from follows me all the time, and yeah, he's a great dude. So I love having fans from all over the world.
Nice, good, very, very good. So where does the brick come from? Why are you known as the brick?
Everybody thinks when they hear the brick that my hands are made of bricks or something. I believe I got power in my hands, but the reason I became the brick is because my game's solid all over like a brick. I grew up wrestling. I wrestled for 15 years. I've done jiu-jitsu for 12 years, and I've been doing my Thai boxing for over 10. So now my game's solid all over like a brick. No matter where the fight goes, I'm solid, and you're going to be in trouble.
Hell yeah. The last video I watched of you, and it really did make me chuckle, with you versus Matt Murphy, and the commentator says, this is what happens, or let's see what happens when a pro boxer meets a grappler. And then as he said that, you roundhouse kick him in the head.
So what happens when a pro boxer takes on a pure grappler in an MMA fight? We're watching it.
That's right. Oh, he stunned him there on the...
Yeah. And I'm just like, a grappler doesn't do that. And then it cuts, and then the next scene is you doing a jumping knee to his head.
At 35 or 25, he's going to be hell on wheels in the MMA game.
It really changed the game.
Yeah, so I mean, you're known as the grappler, but hey, like I say, your game's tight all over. Like, really cool.
Yes, sir. I've been doing it for a long time. Like I said, since I hired my Muay Thai coach over at Forza Combat, I hit mitts with him twice a week.
Man.
And we make that mandatory, and we go over there, and I get that work in, and it's changed up my game a lot. And the Matt Murphy fight, 24 hours before the fight is when it got changed to kickboxing. It was actually a scheduled MMA fight. I was scheduled to fight at 125. I had 4 or 5 opponents pull out. Matt Murphy took the fight on about 5 days notice, I would say, and it was supposed to be a catch weight 137.
Wow. So
I was already 134 at the time on the Monday before the fight when we decided to take the fight with Matt Murphy at a catch weight 137. So I was moving back up because I couldn't find a flyweight fighter on time. And when we got to weigh-ins, he came in at 142 pounds. And, yeah, and I can't really hate on the guy because he took it on short notice. But, I know they paid him good money. I still
just make weight.
Yes, or get close. And he wasn't even trying. And I was like, look, man, you're 142. I was like 134 a couple days ago. Like, I'm only going to be a weight fight night. I was like, I'm not fighting you unless you make weight with 4-ounce gloves on. And so I got to talking and everything, and I was like, look, I've got over 100 and something tickets out there. I sold. I cannot not fight. I was like, I'll do boxing. I was like, I'm not going to chance my MMA record against the guy that's just coming in for a paycheck, that's not making weight. I fought at featherweight one time in my career as a pro, and that was on 24-hour notice, and I don't want to do it again. So I pulled that one out, and I wasn't going to try to pull another one out. Especially since I was coming off of a loss to Ray Rodriguez already. So currently I should be on a 2-fight MMA win streak, but that got switched to kickboxing. But it worked great because, like you said, everybody can see I'm not just a grappler.
I know. And phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. So well done. Well done.
Thank
Great.
you.
What have you got a favourite art? Because obviously you're a grappler, you've wrestled for 15 years, you've done a lot of Thai boxing. If you could pick one, would you pick one?
Oh, grappling for sure. I like to do a lot of things grappling. I'm real grappling savvy. And with my wrestling growing up, my jiu-jitsu, I like to say I have Damian Maya jiu-jitsu with Khabib pressure, because I use the Khabib pressure from my wrestling and putting it on these guys, and these guys, with me being at 125, they turn and they give me stuff, and that's why I have 13 submissions. If you look me up as an amateur, I went 7-0 as an amateur in 6 months at 2 different weight classes, 125 and 35 as an amateur. And I only went to the second round one time. And so I had 6 submissions in the first round. I had 1 in the second round, went 7-0, 2 titles. And then I turned pro in Bellator Fighting Championship and Bellator 20. Bellator 200.
Yeah,
my pro
that's
debut. Good. Yeah, and I fought a guy that was 6-2, coming off a loss to Johnny Bedford by decision, named Humberto De Leon. And they thought they were going to bring me in to lose to him, and I dominated him. And I ended up fighting him for a 125 title. Well, they didn't like that I came in and beat him up on my pro debut. So that's the only guy I've ever fought twice in my career, and that's the only guy I'd never finished. With all my 13 wins, Humberto De Leon is the only one that I've never finished.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yes, sir.
And no doubt you won him.
Well, now he's fell off, but I got the wins over him, and now we're going after bigger people.
Cool. We'll get to them in a minute, I think, definitely.
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah. So, okay, cool. What's your training regime? So the people that follow you, or the people that think the brick is the brick, like, how do you become the brick? How do you train?
I wake up early, Monday through Friday. I work full-time job, 8 to 4:30.
Yeah.
So Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, I wake up usually around 4:45. And lately, the gym has been 5:30 to 6:30. My CrossFit Sand Springs. Yeah. So I train there Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays in the mornings. Monday, after I get off work, I usually go and hit mitts, work with my striking coach before coming home. Tuesday, I get up in the morning a little later, around 6, and then I get a run in before I have to go to work. Monday through Friday, it's a grind. I usually try to get my 2 days in all week. We do our sparring Tuesday and Thursday night at Thunder Kick Fitness. I do an hour and a half of jiu-jitsu, and then we do our hour of sparring on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And like I said, I'm mixing in my CrossFit and my Muay Thai training in between all that. And it's just a constant grind, and try to mix everything up with my family. You know, I got 2 little girls, and the virus has really gave me more time to train, unlike most people. I have a little gym set up at my house, so I'm able to train here as well.
That's cool.
So it works out pretty good for me, and I've been in shape, and I've stayed in shape since this last fight. And the CrossFit gym, we only closed down for a couple weeks before they were ready to open back up, and my Muay Thai gym only closed down for 2 weeks. So we've been back on the grind for over 4 weeks, and I'm hoping to have fight news next week. Well, at least a date of when I'm fighting. Not an opponent, a date. So.
Hell yeah. Well, we've been shut 11 weeks now. It sucks.
Yes, I know. It's insane. I was supposed to fight for the LFA flyweight title April 17th. Now, I did not have a contract. I had verbal agreement. And but I was going to fight Sidney Bice, the #1 guy, which is Brandon Royval's training partner. And from my understanding, me and him were going to throw down in his hometown of South Dakota, April 17th for the 125 title. So I'm hoping LFA will reach back out to make that fight happen, if that's what they want, because that's what I want. We'll have something else set up.
Wicked. So again, for the people that are listening and want to know, like, you put the grind in, and this is what we was talking about. You're up at 4:30 or 5 o'clock running. Excuse me. You do your CrossFit, you do your pads, your Thai, you do your jiu-jitsu training, your ground game. I mean, you're doing, 15, 20 hours a week, something like that, I would guess, looking at them figures.
Yeah, close to 20 would be my guess.
Yeah. So again, I tell my fight team this all the time, but if you want to be at the top, then you've got to put in. You can't train twice a week and expect to to be up with the champions. You have to put the grind in.
Yes, you got to do the extra, like I said. And once you start losing, you're going to find out real quick. Because my coach used to always tell me, when you're making that walk and you're walking out there, you want to tell yourself when you make that walk, I did everything I had to do. I woke up every morning and did my training. I did my running. When you make that walk and you didn't do that, oh, you're going to psych yourself out before you even get in there. And that's one thing that I don't want to ever go through again, because I have went through it. And it's the worst feeling in the world when you get out there and you just do not feel like you can do anything.
Oh, yes. And you know, don't you? You know, in here, you didn't do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as soon as you get out there, you know, and it's just – but, you know, there's ways to find ways out of fights, and there's some fights that you just can't find a way out. And so you go in there. And in my case, one of my worst fights ever that's what happened.
And so I was going to say about one of your worst performance, or a performance that you wasn't happy with. Is that why you wasn't happy with it?
Well, leading up to the fight, I was fighting Levi Mouse in Legacy. It was before they went to LFA too. It was the last one, like Legacy 60 something. I was coming off of a big win too, and we wanted Levi Mouse. And prior up to the training camp, I had lost my grandpa. I've had a lot of dental issues and stuff like that, but I sell over 100 and something tickets.
Yeah.
LFA gave me 50 posters. I had posters going left and right, and those are just one of the fights I couldn't pull out of. It was too big of an opportunity. There was too much on the table, but when I got out there and I made that walk, it was one of the worst feelings ever. The game plan was to stay standing and strike with Levi. He's an amazing ground guy. And after I got hit, and I panicked, and I've never felt that way before, and I just shot in. I took him down, and he swept me over and beat the crap out of me for 2 rounds until they stopped the fight. Yeah, even between rounds, it's who's the commentator? Is Pat Miletich, right?
Over your way, I couldn't tell you. Joe Rogan's the only one I know.
Well, LFA has a commentator. I'm pretty sure it's Pat Miletich, and if it's not Pat, it's the other one that looks like him. I get confused. But during round 1, I got beat on so bad. When I went right back to round 1, I started dry heaving, trying to throw up. Wow. And commentators like, they need to stop this fight. He's got a concussion. And my cornerman's like trying to put my head in the bucket, and I'm like dry heaving, trying to throw up. And then the commission's like, if you throw up, the fight's over. If you throw up, the fight's over. And I'm trying not to throw up. My jiu-jitsu coach is like, man, I don't know what to do. You got to try to get to the ground and choke him out, you know? Like, and it was one of the worst fights, worst feelings. My cornerman's probably never went through that ever before. And ever since then, I try to make sure that don't happen again. And feeling like that will make a big change.
And I think everyone has to have that to understand it, to feel it.
Oh, most definitely. And like I said, like now I feel like if I was to go through it again, I might be able to overcome it. Actually, I have overcame it. When I fought Jamison Saudito, it's on UFC Fight Pass. First round was great, back and forth. I dominated. Came out for round 2, and I winded up on my back, and the kid beat on me. And you can hear it. You can hear my fans get behind me, and I changed position. There's a minute left and choked this kid out. And it was the biggest comeback of my career, one of the best fights of my career, and really let me know how much I can overcome, how you can work through and still get through it. And that was one that made a big difference, to let me know what I can really do when I don't feel like I can do anything in there.
Yeah. It's having that mindset, isn't it? To go, it doesn't matter how bad you're being beat, no matter how bad the chips are down. There's always an opportunity. There's always chance. You just got to want it hard enough.
Yes. Just never quit, man. And I did it on my interview. I told him, I was like, man, I was going to quit in here, man. I had too many fans. I did too much, man. I got too many people following, too many people supporting me, too many people believing in me just to quit, you know? So I got 5 losses, and 4 of them are by knockout. Like, it's killed or be killed in there. Like, I do not like to go to the judges.
I love that. That's exactly what I say. Like, you know, you touch gloves, and it is a sport and it is a competition, but you know, you are trying to win. You are trying to knock them out. You don't want them standing back up. You know?
Yeah, and I want that win bonus. This ain't boxing. We don't get flat pay, baby. Like, you got to get that win bonus if you want to bring more money home.
100%. So while we're talking about knocking people out, who do you want to call out? Who's your target on?
Well, somebody's got a target on me, and that's old CJ Hamilton. I fought him on 2 weeks' notice. That's why we got this banner up here, because he likes the look of that banner. He's seen it once, you know. So I don't know if he wants to see it again, but CJ Hamilton says he wants to smoke. He's got a good ranking, you know. He's got a lot of good fights. He was on the Tuesday Night Contender Series, and I took a fight on 2 weeks' notice for him at a catchweight 130 after beating Jamison Saldito, the fight I was just telling you about. And we ended up getting the win. He did really good in round one, but round two, I got him to the ground and I choked him out pretty easily. And I think I would do it again. And he's coming off 2 big wins. If you know who DJ Fuentes is, he fought him at 135. So it was a big win for him. And then he has a win over somebody else. So he's more than welcome to come get this. Like I say, I'm the FCF style cage fighting 125-pound champ. And I'm going to be defending my title in August or September. We will have the date next week. And I would also, if Eric Shelton would like to come get this smoke, he's getting decisions left and right. He just lost to somebody up there in Michigan. Seems like everybody I fought in Michigan, I finished. You know, I fought Bozzy. I even believe Johnny Bedford said he was from Michigan. He was the 135-pound champ up there for a long time. None of them guys can beat him up. Came down to Texas, and I choked him out. So I want the best of the best. I'm looking to beat another UFC vet. I'm ready to finish another one. Like I said, I'm a finisher, guys. You follow me. It might all be submissions most of the time. But like I said, watch my stand-up. It's coming along. When they don't want to stand, I'll put them to sleep.
Nice. And I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yes, sir.
And do you fear, when you go into the cage, do you have any fears?
I think that one fight I was telling you about with Levi was the only one, and I think it was because I feared that I didn't do the work I needed to do, you know. And I knew I was going in there more based on the fact for my fans and the opportunity more than the fact that I did the work I needed to do. I think that's why, if you look at that fight shortly after, who do I fight? I fight his mentor. I fight his head coach, you know, Johnny Bedford. I reached out for that fight for a reason. I picked up a win after Levi. They put Cody Stanman. He's fighting in the UFC tonight. Well, Bedford called him out multiple times up there in Michigan where he was the champ. Like I said, Bedford ran through like 4 of those guys up there. Cody wouldn't fight him. LFA tried to bring him in, and I got on social media, and I was like, give me that fight. I want that fight. And he underestimated me the whole time, and we showed up, and we did work and put him to sleep in the 3rd round. It was the biggest win of my career, and it's what really let me know that I'm on the level of these guys, even training here in little bitty Oklahoma. So we're ready for the next big thing, and there's not a flyweight in the world right now that I think can beat me.
Nice. Strong words, and I like that. Confident, really confident. It's good. I say to my guys about what, obviously we're kickboxers, so we don't go in the cage, we're in the ring. But if they don't fear being knocked out, and if you've been knocked out, you know there's a bit love it. When you get knocked out, it doesn't hurt. You get hit and you go out. There's no pain involved. But most fighters, when they start, and you say to them, what do you fear? And they're like, oh, I don't want to get knocked out. But if you're not scared of being knocked out, if you're fighting someone that isn't scared of that, then that's a dangerous thing, because they don't fear anything. So I try and say to my team, if you can get past the fear of being KO'd, then you're going to be hard to stop.
I always tell the amateurs, I'm like, you think it's bad getting knocked out? Try getting knocked out on national television. It's happened, you know, and it's a weird way. I'd be eating at a restaurant, and then I had a guy be like, Jimmy Flick. And I was like, yes, how you doing, sir? You know, and always introduce myself. And he was like, man, you were fighting that Mexican guy and you were doing really good. And I was like, yeah, so unfortunately, he's seen the fight that I lost, and that's when I fought Will Capizano, biggest fight of my career. My first loss, biggest fight of my career for my first loss. And I fought for the Legacy Fighting Championship. Well, not LFA, whatever they were before, LFC or something.
Yeah.
And Will Capizano caught me with the knee in round 2 and dropped me. And that was, you know, my first loss by knockout on national television in the main event versus the UFC vet. So, like, I've experienced it all in my career, you know. So I've got a lot going. I've done kickboxing. I've done pro boxing. There's not a lot of video out there, so a lot of people don't know I've done pro boxing. But and I've even done pro jiu-jitsu. I do it all. So besides karate, I've kind of done almost every pro sport I can in mixed martial arts.
Fantastic. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's great. What's the best advice you've ever been given?
To never quit on myself. You know, a lot of people, I think they give up. And I think growing up, I didn't have an easy life. I had 2 older brothers, 2 older sisters. I even had a younger sister that was born by the same mom and dad, but she had to get adopted because we were not wealthy people. My water got shut off. Our electric got shut off. Our house used to run off of a generator. I've been in DHS custody. I've been taken away from my family and stuff like that. To never quit. I might have even got this advice before I started fighting MMA, just to never give up, to never quit, and just keep pushing forward. And that's what I do, and that's what I strive. No matter what, if I lose, win, I always praise God, win or lose, and I'm always striving to do better, to be better, from my friends to my family to my kids to my loved ones. And that's what I strive to do in life. And I'm trying to make my dream come true. And if it doesn't, I got a full-time job. I got a career, you know, and, you know, so I have a fallback, you know, so that's why I give it 110%. And I want to be all the way in or not be in at all.
Yeah. All in or don't bother.
Yes. Yeah. Or it's just a waste of time. Why? You know?
Fantastic. And again, I know how hard it is to put the hours in the gym, in the training, like say, wife, children, house. It's hard, man. But if you're in, you're in.
Yes, sir.
It's great. It's great. Slight change, and if there isn't, then don't worry. But is there anything you'd like to ask me at all? I always ask my guests, because I always ask the questions. I always say, is there anything you'd like to ask me?
Yeah, I like your gym set up there. I was
Thank
just
you.
curious how that come about, man. How long you been in that?
So I started kickboxing when I was 10, so many, many years ago. And the first time I walked into the gym, it wasn't like the gym behind me. And I just remember thinking, I want one of these. You know, when as a kid you got a Ferrari on your wall. I had a picture of a gym on my wall, and and again, I've only got it like this because if I go, where's my buttons? See if I can do it. So for everyone that's watching on the podcast, you won't be able to see it. But everyone who's watching, that's where I'm sitting at the moment. I'm in my kitchen.
I thought so. Kind of see it a little bit, but that's
but that just looks better. That looks better.
Yeah.
So it's taken me. So I did build a gym, not the one that you can see, but I did build a gym 12 years ago. And very long story. Over in the UK, you have to get planning permission from a local council, and I lost that. I built a gym, but I lost it. And then we moved to a few different halls and a few community centres. And then we moved into where we are now, and it was just an empty room. And long story short, over 5 years, we've built and we've built. So we had a little square. Then we moved next door and we took the wall down, which is that pillar that you can see. And then we got new mats. Then we got all the bags up. And then there's a ring on the other side. So the other side of the gym, there's a 16-foot boxing ring. And there's a rig, and there's loads of cool stuff in there. But we're just starting to build a peg wall, a climbing wall as well.
Nice.
So it's been a 30-year dream of mine, and over the last 10 years, I've managed to slowly build it to what it is we've got today. And that's we do kickboxing, but we do a lot of anti-bullying campaigns. We work with a lot of schools and colleges. We work with the police.
Yeah.
You know, we do lots of stuff in the community. So we're not just a kickboxing gym. We do a lot for the local community as well, which has helped to get where we are. So, but I love it. I was up there this morning doing some work. Obviously, we've been shut for 10 weeks. So we've just been putting more kit in. We've just put a couple of swing bars in as well this weekend.
Yeah.
So,
that's why I was at. Because
yeah.
at first I hadn't opened already. I thought you were doing work to open one, you know?
Yeah.
So yes, to open back up is what you're doing. So.
Yeah. So when my members come back in, they're going to be like, wow, even more.
Right. Yes.
So yeah, that's how I got that. It's just been grind, working 100-hour weeks. I worked as a fiber optic engineer for 17 years whilst building my business. So, and I left 5 years ago to do it full time.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because running a gym, I know, is not easy. Actually, I tried to open one with me and my brother. We got into this sport together, and we opened up a gym called Flick Brothers MMA Academy here in our hometown. And I was 6-0, and that's actually, I tried to train out of that gym when I fought Will Capizano, and it made a big difference, man. Trying to run a gym, trying to fight, you know, and
it's hard.
Let me know real quick that I didn't want to gym that early in my career, and it was too soon. And I was glad I did it that soon, because now I know what to expect. We were open for almost a year before I decided that I got to pursue MMA 100%, and I can't try to run a gym at the same time. So we decided to give up on that, and I just kept pursuing my MMA career. And it was not easy. And I think when in a couple more years, when I'm almost done fighting, that's when I want to open back up a gym here in my hometown.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and you will. You'll make it happen. But you're right. Because all of my members want to see me fight again, and I would love to fight. I love fighting. I love putting a pair of gloves on and just hitting hard. But I can't run my gym, train, and fight. It's too much. It's too much. So would I like to fight? 100%. Is it going to happen? And I need to make the decision. If I'm going to fight, I need to stop teaching for a while. If I stop teaching, then my members will be like, hey, man, I want to fight. So,
right.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Never say never.
That's very true.
Never say never. But yeah, good question. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Cool. One more then. What advice would you give any of your fans? If you give them some advice.
I would just say support your locals, people that, help support us, like my sponsors and everybody, my local fans, kids I grew up with. That's the best feeling for me as having fans. I run into people and they talk to me all the time, and I really enjoy it. And I feel like I have a lot of locals, they don't want you to make it, and I just really like it when everybody supports everybody. And I think that's what, if we had that in the world right now, I think it'd be a lot better place right now too.
Oh, yes.
If we could just support everybody, I mean, spread the love. It's not going to hurt. It doesn't cost you money. It doesn't kill you or anything. So that's what I like to do. That's what kind of person I am. I get told I'm too nice of a person sometimes, because I get people reach out to me and I try to do what I can. I don't have a lot of money. I don't have, a lot of stuff to give people, but I mean, I have amateurs that I try to work with. I'm not the best, but if they want to work with me or try to get them fights, find them a gym in their local town. I had a guy from Arkansas hit me up to see if I can find him a gym in Arkansas. I'm just trying to always help people, and that's what I think. Everybody try to help everybody you can and support your locals. Gives us a better chance of making it, and that's what we're trying to do. And if I ever make it, everybody's going to be with me. Everybody's going to know they helped me. I always thank everybody that likes my fan page, shares my fan page, comments. It really motivates us to keep pushing and not to give up.
Hell yeah.
So easy to just give up. I don't have to do this for a living, but I love to do it. Like you said, you want to get better fighting, but you also love teaching your gym, and it's hard. You got to pick one or the other.
Yeah.
Me being 29, I'm about to be 30 this year, I feel like I'm right at the prime of everything in my career, and so I want to hit it full force. And the more people that I have backing me, supporting me, the harder I'm going to push, and the better chance I got to make it.
Hell yeah. 100%. I love that. Well, I just want to say a massive thank you for your time. You've been really, really a good man to interview. I've enjoyed it. It's been good fun. I've learned a lot about you today, and it's nice because we share a lot of the same thought processes, which is great. I want to say a massive shout out to Nick, HK USA, because without that contact, Nick's like my brother. So, he's pushing the brand and the kit and the gloves. And
Yes.
he's really doing big things in America at the moment with the HK USA brand. So without that, we probably wouldn't be talking. So huge shout out to Nick for that.
Yes, thank you, Nick. I really appreciate it. Everybody, please check out HK USA. You can get custom gloves and get what you need. Amazing gear. I love it, man. I've got the shin guards. They're really thick. I can actually blast my kicks, man, and don't hurt my shins and everything like that. So I really enjoy his gear. He asked me the other day for an honest review, and I told him, I was like, man, I love it, man. The shin guards ain't falling off of me. He gave me 3 pairs of gloves. I'm able to, alternate my gloves where they don't get stinky and are not apart, and I love their gear, man.
Cool, man. Yeah, it's good, high quality gear. There's stuff that Nick's had designs that we've not got over here. And I'm like, hey, man, I need them. So, yeah, and he's like, no worries. So, yeah, it's like he's helping push the boundaries on all the kit as well. Like, it's phenomenal.
Yes.
Massive thank you there. Right, so I'm just going to end it up here. So, guys, if you're watching, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you're listening, I hope you've enjoyed it. I've learned a lot from Jimmy the Brick Flick today. I just want to say, follow him, like him, subscribe, find him on Facebook, Instagram, all the tubes. We'll put all the links in below afterwards. I've had an absolute blast. Hope you guys have too. Thanks for listening. And remember, guys, it's not just a sport, it's a way of life.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
All right.